because you have an MBA batch, something will get easy for you? No, not at all. Because you have an MBA batch, people will have more expectations from you that you will do something more than the non-MBA guys. So be prepared, be ready for challenges.
Hello everyone, welcome to yet another podcast with Grow Junction. Today, for this podcast, we have with us Mr. Nishant. So, before starting the podcast, I'd like to give a brief introduction about Sir. Sir has done his bachelor's from Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University in Hyderabad. He has done his MBA from IIM Khozikode, and currently he's working as a global catalog manager at Amazon. Sir, it's great to have you at our podcast. And if you can start the podcast with a brief introduction about your role at Amazon, what are your day-to-day responsibilities, what are your KPIs, what are your KRAs, you can start with that.
Sure, Vaibhav. Thank you for the introduction. So about myself, as you rightly mentioned, I am a BTech graduate and I'm an ex-shippy. I used to work in Merchant Navy for around 7 years, then completed my MBA and currently working at Amazon. So about my current role, I'm currently working as an operations manager. So it is Global Catalog Operations Manager. So it is essentially operations manager in Amazon who is responsible for catalog operations. So what are my responsibilities? We are essentially ensuring that we are making the catalog for the people better. So if you ask what is catalog, catalog is essentially any book, like you can just have a menu, so something like that. So you have a list of things listed, the price. Essentially, Amazon is just a big catalog. So if you go to the website, you can go into any category. You can every category is like a catalog. So you go into phone section, so you can see lots of details about the phones. So what we do is what exactly should be included in the catalog is what we take care of. So we call that as product types. Something like phone is a product type. It can be dress is a product type. There are many product types. So we go to the product types and then we get the attributes. Attributes is what defines the product types. It can be the brand. It can be the color. What all the customers are looking at, want to look at, not looking at, want to look at. That is what we give it to them. So that is what is that. And coming to my KPIs, I have a team of around 50 people that I manage. So I have to make sure that their performance is being met, weekly performance, that is their productivity as well as the error rate. So error rate is we have a target for both productivity and error rate. So I have to keep making sure that that is met. And apart from that, there is also the automation. Amazon is always trying to automate things so that less and less human effort is needed. So I have to work in parallel with the automation teams and keep helping them in the automation process. And there are a few other projects also going in parallel. We have 10% efficiency goals every year. So we have to keep meeting all that as well. Yeah.
Do you manage any particular category of catalog, or like in general, like in Amazon, there are particular categories like mobile category, there is funny, say sports category. So do you manage a particular category of catalog, or it's in general the whole catalog?
It is in general. So currently we are catering to US marketplace, and we deal with different stakeholders. So one of the stakeholders is the departments which chooses which particular product types is prioritized for this year, because there are unlimited product types, right? So we are not focused on the category. We are more focused on product types. So whichever is the ones which are prioritized is chosen by them. So their department's work is only prioritizing that, and then giving us those product types for this year that we have to complete or make that product types better, and then we process it and then we give it back to them.
Another question that I had, that is somewhat of a personal question, if you can help me with that. So
Sure.
It's about how is ranking of product done on a Amazon page. Like there are millions of products for the same thing. Like if I search a mobile phone, if I search say a wristband, so there are multiple companies that are providing a wristband. So how is that ranking done on Amazon? I wanted to know somewhat a very personal question. So how is that
Yeah.
ranking done on Amazon?
So ranking of the search terms is what I'm not involved with, but ranking of attributes is what I'm involved in. What exactly is ranking of attributes is like if you go and search for a dress or say a mobile phone. So if you go for a search for a mobile phone in Amazon website, we decide in what order the attributes have to be listed. Say what has to come first, the brand or the color or there are so many things in a mobile phone, like some can be very relevant to the customer, something like the RAM or the processor or something like the color, or it can be there are so many some 100 attributes which can be listed, but we want to show only the top 10 attributes to the customer. So how those top 10 are chosen are what we decide, and that depends on various things we run along. There are various formulas for that. A few of them could be the search frequencies. So we get to know what exactly customers are searching. Something like in the search window only they are searching for cell phone with 6 GB RAM, or they are using the filters to filter out this. So depending on the search frequency, this is one of the metrics. There are many others as well. So using all this, we rank the attributes in what order to be shown in the customer's page.
Like Amazon may be a company, a lot of like our target audience for our podcast is generally MBA students. So a lot of MBA students would be aspiring to work at Amazon. So if you can also share some of your experiences with Amazon, how has it been working at Amazon? Something that you have found very interesting at Amazon.
Sure, Vaibhav. So I was not a campus recruit into Amazon. So I went into RGP or client Unilever after my campus placement. So that was actually easy, and I had a very good life balance there. It was super chill. But then I decided to go to Amazon, and the difference I feel is, first thing is I can also help you with the interview, because I cleared Amazon as an off-campus recruit, so I can also help you with that. And then working at Amazon, I'll say it is almost like working in a startup company. It is, you have unlimited powers. Like I said, I have around 50 people, and they do not micromanage me. They do not ask me that is it getting done, are you doing. All they care about is are they, in the end of the day, are the results met. So apart from that, you train your team, you do whatever you want, have fun with your team, how you manage your life. All that is, you have lots of powers, and also very challenging, because there are so many new things coming up in especially in catalog. Every day we get to know something new, something like today we are doing this, next week we get to know that it is completely automated, and we are giving some other set of responsibilities. So first I have to start learning that myself, then I have to train my team regarding that. So it is like ever changing, and you have to continuously keep upskilling and growing, and you have to be ready for challenges, what I would recommend, because if you're not ready for the challenge and startup type of environment, it is very hard to survive in Amazon.
What I get from you is that the flexibility of planning is up to you. The targets are given by the company, but the flexibility of how to achieve those targets and how you will groom your team accordingly, it's up to you.
Yes. What I love about Amazon is the 16 leadership principle. That is what is the common platform everyone in Amazon follows. Apart from that, as whatever ideas or techniques you want to use, everything is up to you, but you have to be at least using some reasonable approach that you will be able to explain. It should not be that I did it because I had a hunch. No, Amazon is highly data driven company, so you have to have some logic and some business plan of why you are doing this. You have to have an explanation, and that is why it is not like independent decision. I always consult my managers before taking any decision of and get more inputs, and then finalize the way ahead. Yeah.
your answer brought two very important questions, but there are two separate questions. I'll go one by one. First is about your experience in the marine field, because I saw that you have around 4 to 5 years of experience there as well. So something about how you got into there and what's your experience in the field of marine.
Okay. So merchant navy is something which I loved. That is what was my first profession. So as soon as I graduated from my engineering, I went into merchant navy. So that is where my heart truly belongs even now. So it was I was working as an electrotechnical officer on board the ships, and I've been there for around 7 years in total. I started in volume ship management as a trainee. Then I shifted to Anglo Easterns, and there are many different types. If I talk about merchant navy, I will be involved in it, and I'll keep talking for hours. So I'll try to keep it brief. Yeah. So my latest company before I joined MBA was Maersk Line, and Maersk Line, the one with the star. Many people know the container carriers. So it was also very challenging career, because electrical officers are usually only one or maximum in few ships. If it is a triple carrier, which is world's biggest ships, around 400 meters in length, then you have probably two, depending on the cargo load again. So it also comes with super high responsibility, that you're carrying cargo worth some millions of dollars, and you're at mid sea with no one to help you. So sometimes you feel like you are totally relaxed, there's nothing to do, and sometimes you get to see that the total world is collapsing, and you have to prioritize what to first solve, so that you will first like you'll see situations where you'll have to probably prioritize life or this or that. So it is not just that machine failing or cargo damage, or there have been situation of fire on board ship. You will merchant navy is a completely different life, where you will get to learn unlimited things. It is a super valuable part of my life. Yeah.
Why did you decide to make this shift when do an MBA and then get into Amazon, RGP? And what made you do that shift from merchant navy?
Okay. Okay. So merchant navy has lots of offerings, but it has some drawbacks also. So first thing is my role. My role as an electrotechnical officer, it has no more growth. It is restricted to that, and I do not. That is the highest promotion that I could get in that particular role. And to continue as a to become a chief engineer or something, I had to do some transformations of another upskilling course. Then again, start from the bottom of the chart as a mechanical engineer, which I did not want to do. And second thing is, I am currently married and I have a daughter. So my daughter is around. Before I quit my job, she was only 1 year old. So she was one of the reasons that I wanted to quit sailing. And and third thing is, I wanted to further grow my knowledge, explore other possibilities, learn what is management. I always wanted to keep challenging myself to something new. Yeah.
Coming to the shift that you made, and my second part is that what do you think are the key skills at your job that you feel that, okay, these are essentials if you want to be in the operations field at Amazon or any other major company? That these are the essential skills that you should work on, maybe in your MBA, in your bachelor's, if you aspire to be, suppose, an operation manager.
Okay. Sorry. If you want to be a good manager, I would say any manager, operations manager, project manager, anything, I would suggest two basic skills at least. Basic technical skills. Soft skills is something you have to improve yourself, something like empathy and all. That is what you have to have. But apart from that, I would say with subject wise, I'll say project management subject and Lean Six Sigma. These two things are like, although it won't be specified that you need to have the skills, it may be, sometimes it may not be, but these two are something which you have to have it in you. Especially if you are good at project management, then you are good at time management, you are good at assigning work allocation. You are good at lots of things. You will get to analyze risk. There's so many things in project management that you will learn, which you can implement in as a project manager or operations manager. Essentially, if you are growing as an operations manager, you are handling an entire program, and you are a project manager or program manager. Everything is a bit connected, and Lean Six Sigma is what is expected from you as someone who appraises you or evaluates you. He will evaluate of how exactly you are improving a process. This is not something that if you want to be in a non-growth position, that you are just managing something in your exactly JD, then that is fine. But if you have a growth ambition, then you have to continuously keep improving the process of wherever you are, whatever role you are. And to that, Lean Six Sigma helps you improve your thinking. So if you are always thinking of if this is the problem, how should I probably the fishbone approach or why analysis? If you are train yourself to be in to have that kind of thinking, then you need not keep applying some Excel formulas. It is just a mindset that you have to improve, and you will keep finding opportunities to improvement. And once you have the problem, like this best thing is common for marine field and this field is finding the problem is the hardest part. Once you have the problem, then the solution is the easy part. And people face problems all the day, all the time, but they do not note it down. So if you have problems, then note it down, then eventually keep discussing, brainstorming, and you'll eventually find the solution. So yeah.
So first of all, you raised 2 points. Is number one, having that ability to understand the problem, that what problem you're facing, and having an improving mindset, which courses like Six Sigma will help you in having an improving mindset. You'll always have that, okay, what can I apply to improve upon this? Like a fishbone diagram, like a Pareto analysis. How can I apply these things to improve? Coming to, since you were talking about skills and certifications, I would also like, since you applied for Amazon off campus, so how do you think that one should build a CV, maybe during their MBA or once they got into corporate, to get, first of all, shortlisted in such big companies? And another question I had was that, how do you show, like if you want to be a project manager, how do you show those skills as a fresher in your CV?
Okay, so I'll start with the CV part. So for having a good CV, first try to start with your experiences. I would suggest first thing you have to realize is CV is it cannot be done in an hour or in a day. It takes time. It will take time of days. It may take time of months, and you should be conscious of that, because you cannot say that today I have decided to apply for a job, I'll make a CV and apply. No, that doesn't work. You'll make a CV, but it won't be good enough to be selected anyway. So people who have to want to start job search have to spend time building a CV. And all these things I can suggest, because I have failed in a lot of interviews. I have been rejected a lot, and this I've kept learning myself and improving myself. So so you have to first start by listing down your experiences, everything, any experiences you had where probably you face something like a problematic situation you faced from when you started your career, or if you are a fresher, then from your school time. If you are just a fresh MBA with no experience, start with your school time, any achievements, anything. So CV is somewhere where you list your achievements. It is not a place where you just list your job responsibility. So it doesn't matter if you are just a fresher, maybe you had some good grades in school, that is an achievement, or some management committee or something that you manage, anything, any achievement. So start with I'm not sure if you're aware, but there's something called STAR format that Amazon follows, and every company follows these days. So that format, situation, task, and what action you took and the result. So that is how you have to fill in every point in the CV. So start by collecting the data. It may be some 4 or 5 pages, anything. Just write down your small story of every point. It should not be like I did this. It should be like you have to write that story in the STAR format. Say what was the situation, target, action, result. Write down the full story in 4 or 5 pages. Then start trimming it down. start trimming it down to, finally keep trimming it down to 3 pages, 2 pages, and finally fit it in 1 page and make it one line this, and then result you have to make it into numbers. So it should not be that I achieved this target and it was incredible. You have to write how exactly was that incredible, like it made so much profit, it made this impact, not this impact like high impact. That is not a number. It should be on a scale. This impact saved so much money because of this, something like that. So yeah, that is how we will go on with the CV. Every point should start with the situation and end with the result of so much. So it can be, you can categorize into the different companies you work, different roles you work, and something like that. Any role, it can be project manager, product manager, anyone, but the CV should be following the same format. Start with this, start with a small introduction of yourself, your achievements, and your certification skills, and finally end with your details again. Yeah.
And suppose if you are working in a corporate, suppose if you are doing an MBA, you're someone with a work experience, you have managed a team there. If you show it in your CV, like I have managed this team, and that is why I want to become a product manager or a project manager at an XYZ company. But my second question was, as a fresher, if I show, like, suppose I've managed a committee, or suppose I managed a club in my college, does that have the same impact to a recruiter, or how can I use that? Or am I at a disadvantage if I'm a fresher, I've not managed a company in the corporate? So something like that, if you can share.
Okay, so the people who come for recruitment for freshers, they know that you are a fresher. So they do not expect some that you have done some miracles. So they are coming with the expectation that yes, you are a fresher, but your competition is essentially not with experienced people, but with other freshers. So when they compare and see that you have at least managed the committee in a college, and that you have managed so many people, and you have made this difference in someone's life or something. So that, and the other guy has not done anything. He has just written that probably these are my, the basic CV is just like having the percentages of everyone and their hobbies. But hobbies again, hobbies is you like jumping. That is not a hobby, right? It should be something related to related to you. It should be something like an achievement, actually. Even the hobby, it should be unless you are really into that hobby, that you dedicate your life, a part of your life to it. It should be something like, I have got this certification for this, I have pursued this, something related to that. So yeah, I will say it will not, if you are going for a fresher role, then just make your CV as per the fresher role, and you are not at any disadvantage.
A very important point that you raised, because when a company is hiring you as a fresher, they have a different mindset and their expectations are different when they are hiring someone with an experienced person. So you have to make your CV according to the best of your abilities that you have achieved. So, and also the point that you raised, that you have competition with other freshers and not with exactly people with work experience. So
yes,
very valid point.
Yeah, one more thing, when you're making your JD, first you make a basic template, and then as per the job requirement, as per the JD, you have to align a bit. So you might be having some 2-page CV. So just see what exact points that fit into that JD role. This was one of the basic mistakes which even I made while applying for the job. Like, I used to mention too much of my marine experience. Like, I used to mention I used to work on motors whose rating was this much kilowatt, and everything I used to mention for some software jobs which I was applying. So for them it made no sense, but for me that was an achievement. So I was more into that. This is a very big achievement. Probably they will also recognize it. But you have to see from the recruiter side. Why will he find it valuable? If you might have won an Olympic medal in swimming, but that doesn't make any difference for a guy building something else, right? So you have to understand, think from the others recruiter side of why exactly will he shortlist you? Does he find you valuable for your skills? So not for freshers again. Freshers you can just mention, but for experience you have to also go to the JD and try to align your CV with the JD.
You can have a basic CV, but according to the job description, you can tweak it a bit. You can make some changes that make it more relevant to what you're applying for. Another thing that you would be the best person to answer, since you said that you applied for Amazon off campus, is the interview process, the interview experience, and how did you prepare for
it? Sure. So, sorry. So the interview started with, there was some hiring drive going on. So I applied in that. I did not apply to the Amazon portal. So it started with the hiring drive. And
sorry to interrupt you. What was the hiring drive going on? Was it on
it was Amazon keeps running the hiring drive, off-campus hiring drive for manager roles, especially Naukri.com. Naukri.com is the best place to get these calls. So make a very good profile in Naukri.com and have a video CV as well uploaded. And as far as I've seen, all my friends, they get lots of calls from Naukri.com. So Naukri is the most favored job website as far as I am seeing these days. So I got a call from that because they were running a hiring drive, and from Naukri I got a call, and they saw my CV in Naukri first, and then the first round is, after you get shortlisted, they have a telephonic round. So the interview starts with a telephonic round, and the telephonic round is just like they want to align you with the job role, want to see if you are actually fit, and the numbers which are written in CV is true or not. So they might ask some general questions like, tell me about yourself and all that. And if you are shortlisted, then you go on ahead with the next rounds. I had a total of 5 rounds after the telephonic rounds, and usually before this lockdown and all, everything used to happen in the same day in Amazon campus. So, but right now, because of COVID, everything is happening online. So it is taking time. For myself, it took around 1.5 months to complete from first interview to the last interview, because they complete the interview, they take time. Again, it totally depends on the requirement, the job role, the manager who is hiring, his urgency and everything. But you have seen 3-4 people who's having the same timeline, around 1 to 1.5 months for start to end of the interview process, which used to happen within a week before the lockdown started. So yeah, so every in the interview rounds, you can essentially expect questions around your experiences, around the leadership principles of Amazon. So it will be more related to the leadership, the 16 leadership principle. They want to test how you fit in those. So it might be like if it is customer obsession, they'll ask yourself to prove or tell some experiences which prove that you are customer obsessed or something. So you have to make stories and be prepared before the interview, because you cannot keep repeating the same story for every experience. So again, if you are very good at CV in the first process, so making the CV takes time, but that is the time where you truly make up the stories of all your experiences, have the numbers ready, everything is ready. So if you have spent good enough time making a CV, then you are good enough for any interview.
I think there also you can use the STAR technique that you told in terms of storytelling.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And I also wanted to ask, is the process so lengthy for all the job roles? Since all your job role was a senior role where you will manage a big team, that is why it was like a 5-step interview. But is it that big for all job roles? It's obvious for you.
Yes, it is almost at least for level 4 roles I've seen 4 rounds, but usually off campus it is always 5 rounds. On campus interview, it is much easier. They usually take 3 rounds. They reduce the rounds because they are directly coming to campus and this. But off campus, it is a lengthy process. It takes time. It takes more effort.
And people now, for We talked about CVs to interview, and once they get shortlisted into interview, they go into their corporate career. And so, any advice for them would be entering into the corporate career? They may be like MBA 2022 pass outs who must be entering into the corporate career. Some may be experienced people, but some freshers. So, any advice for them?
I would say be ready for challenges. So there will be many things like the first time I shifted, first time I from when I started my career after my engineering, I joined shipping. Then it was a different some crane enabled ship where I had to learn crane. Then I had to suddenly shift to container ship where I had to learn complete new different skill, learn about the refrigeration. Then I shifted to MBA where I had to learn complete different skill. It was very difficult, but yeah, I've managed. Then I had to shift to RGP where I had to learn project management software, something like Microsoft Project. So, and now I have to learn Excel and lots of people management and all these things. So one thing is common is you have to keep upskilling and keep learning. If you, without upskilling, it is impossible to learn or perform in your job, and the time you get also is very less to learn. So try put in your effort, especially in the first few months. Put in your maximum efforts, try to learn everything, because first few months is where you will get a little leniency that you are new, so probably you'll not know the process. So you get to ask unlimited questions, so don't be shy to ask the questions. Keep asking, keep learning, and don't be afraid to fail. Also, one of the Amazon leadership principle, you should always be learn, be curious. That is what is the best thing about Amazon leadership principle. If you have seen it as invent and simplify, this that there are so many things which are like if you really follow them, you get to be very good at your career and everything else. But it takes effort. It is nothing is like just because you have an MBA badge, something will get easy for you. No, not at all. Because you have an MBA badge, people will have more expectations from you that you will do something more than the non-MBA guys. So be prepared, be ready for challenges, and there's no stopping. You have a unlimited. You are you are empowered to do all that. So you have to believe in yourself, and you can do everything.
Yeah, two important things that you raised, because even in our classes, since I am also doing my MBA, say that whenever our professor said that whenever you go into corporate and you will not be knowing anything, people will be like questioning you. Like, you have done an MBA, how do you don't know this thing? You have done an MBA, how do you don't know this technical term? So if you go into a company with an MBA, the expectations are a little higher. And the second thing that you raised is about continuously upskilling. Because generally what happens when people enter the corporate, it's like they're doing the same work. It's not that changing. Everything is not that dynamic as it was in the MBA or as it was in the bachelor. But still, it is important to keep upskilling, keep learning new things, and keep facing new challenges to grow.
Yeah. Yes, Vaibhav, that is exactly true, because this is not one guy's experience, one person's experience. That is what everyone experiences. Right from when my first experience in ship is I joined, and like any electrical engineer student, I had a degree, but I never had any practical experience. Of course I've done in lab and everything, but that is just like people are doing it group, right? So as soon as I joined the ship, I had no idea even how to change a tube light. So right from there, like people always ask, don't you know what is slip rings or this, that, you will get a backlash unless you have some internship experiences where you have learned everything. You'll get some scoldings, but eventually you'll learn. That is how the curve goes. So you have to start with you don't know anything, you get scoldings, you grow, then probably only then you will learn. But you can do some to prevent the negative effect. Probably you can do some courses before, something like Excel is a basic skill which I was not good at least, because I had no computer and these things experience. So especially I started suffering in MBA because lots of them were experts in Excel. So it was very hard for me, especially during the projects and all. But then again, you start slow, but you keep complete, like the tortoise and the rabbit race, right? You may be slow, but continuously keep learning. You will win the race.
Yeah, it's important that if you lack in some sort of skill, you're deficit somewhere, to keep continuously learning.
Yes.
And also very important for us, you say every engineer faces that in their home. Ki you are doing engineering, light change kar do, bulb change kar do, you don't know how the fan works. Every engineer
Yeah.
faces that.
Yeah.
So, sir, as we come to the end of the podcast, I would like you to share like any piece of advice that you have. It may be somewhat like a life advice. It may be a corporate advice. It can be any piece of advice that you have uh, taken or got in your career. Maybe from your teachers, maybe from your faculty, maybe from someone from your mentor as a corporate, that you have used in your life and that you have felt that, okay, this has worked from me and this has even helped me, suppose, in challenging situations. This piece of advice. So, if you want to share with our audience as a closing note.
First thing is don't lose hope, I would say. Things might get especially when you are in MBA or out in the job role, things are bound to get chaotic one day or the other. It is you will face difficult times, but never lose hope. Your maximum thing you'll get is probably get fired, so that is not the biggest issue. You'll still have your learnings. So always think from a point of learning. Whatever whether you're participating or whatever you're doing, it is not all about winning. Winning is just, even the person who gets a gold medal in MBA or probably some awards, he is nothing. Uh, he is not rewarded by life. It is just an achievement which someone recognizes. Probably you have a skill which no one recognizes. That doesn't matter. So everyone is skilled. So just don't lose hope. And always continue with what you are doing. So if you are not fitting somewhere, probably you can change that role and go into somewhere else. But everyone is equally competent, and respect everyone. Yeah.
You, sir. Thank you so much for your time. We talked about your experience at Amazon, your work at Amazon. We talked about CV building. We talked about interviews, different rounds of interview. Even I was not aware that there are so many levels to an interview and how to approach those interviews. So, thank you so much, sir, for your time. And yeah, you shared a lot of knowledge and wisdom with our audience. Hopefully, people entering into your MBA in their MBA will use this podcast and benefit from it.
Sure, Vaibhav. Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. Do let me. You can contact me if some other information is needed. Thanks.